think I covered everything on shrink sleeves. So now we're going to talk about another kind of science that's related to the label technology that I do. And we're going to talk about what's called color change ink. So the label that we did just a few minutes ago, which is this one, has some color change ink. So I need a volunteer, blonde hair in the back. No, wait a minute. Who are you? Yeah, come here. I think I asked you if you answered the question, so I need to spread it around. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Take some of this. What's in there? Cold or hot?
Cold.
Cold, obviously. Okay, so take some cold water, pour it into my can, if you will. Here, let's turn you around a little bit so that everybody can see. Cold water is going to go into the can. What happens to the bottom of the label? Go ahead, say it. Yes, it changes and it's turned blue. Okay, that's good stuff. So now, how do you know that what's in the can is cold? Go ahead.
It changes colors.
It changes colors. So the colors tell you that the liquid in the can in this case is cold. Thank you. That's simple. So, actually come back here. I want another, I need to do one more. 2 cans. They're the same. They both have the same print on them and everything. Pour some cold water into one of those cans. And you guys, of course, know what's going to happen already because you've seen it happen. You can get ice in there too. It's okay. All the way up to the top. That's good. Great. Okay, so now the can, in this case, thank you. You sit back. The can changed color, so obviously it's got cold water in it. The ink turned color because it turned cold. So it went through. Did you guys go to States of Matter during your tour? Did you go to States of Matter? So this is almost like States of Matter, where in this case, at one temperature, it's clear, and at the other temperature, it's solid. Yes, go ahead.
When you put the water back, what's the color on it?
That's a good question. I'll tell you what. Let's do a little experiment. You watch that heat up. And as you watch it heat up,
It's fading away.
it should fade away.
Attention presenters, this is your 5-minute wrap-up.
Okay, here's another example of cold and hot. Which one's cold? The one on the blue, yeah, the blue, right? So again, this had cold water in it, and so it turned color, and in fact it turned blue. And it's the same ink as what you saw in the bottom of this liquid. Let's do one more. Hungry Jack. Okay, what do you do with Hungry Jack? Does anybody own this? Pour it on pancakes, okay. But what do they? How are you supposed to use this package? Go ahead. Okay, that's good. Does anybody put it in the microwave and heat it up? You do? Okay, so what happens when you heat up this package in the microwave? Anybody know? Go ahead. The plastic did? Oh, okay. But watch what happens if you heat this up. This little black microwave that's on the front of the label is going to turn clear. So how do you know? What does it tell you about the product? If the label changes color, then what do you know about the syrup? It's ready. It's hot. So I have one here. Get my handy heat gun. Okay, so now I have a label is the same as what's on the bottle, and I'm going to heat the microwave. And what is black now is going to turn blue. It does go quite fast. This actually doesn't have to get that hot to change temperature. In fact, you can rub it with your finger and it'll change temperature. So when you guys, at the end of the class, not only are you guys going to get a shrink sleeve, which you can take home with you, you're going to get some Hungry Jack labels. So I have a bunch of these to pass out. So these all have the thermochromic ink on them. And then I also want to show you some other examples of thermochromic ink. Here's a special type of thermochromic ink. This is a liquid crystal. Now the liquid crystal thermochromic is really sensitive to temperature. So my hand temperature is enough to make the color change. And so this again is an example where temperature is changing the state of the polymer that is a liquid crystal, and so then it turns to a color. Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
When you put your hand on that, it kind of looks like an X-ray picture.
Oh yeah, right. Just like an X-ray. Let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to show? I have a battery tester. So this is another example of how you might use a color change ink. Oh, I have one more thing to show you. This is a color change. Forrest will recognize this. Do you know what this is? Yeah, it's a mood ring. A mood ring has liquid crystals in it, just like that piece of paper that I had. So this will change color with temperature. Here's another example. This is a battery tester. So this has the dark. This has dark at room temperature. And then behind the thermochromic ink is yellow. And so what happens is, if I put it on a battery like this, it'll heat up, and it'll turn clear. And as it turns clear, you see the yellow ink behind it. So there's the battery ink. So these are all examples of how you might use thermochromic ink. And the goal of a thermochromic ink, or a color change ink, is to show you something. Either make a color change, or understand that something is cold, something is warm. So, yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, say that again? I think your example that you are going to get is the Hungry Jack. I don't have any more of these. I have one. Sorry. Okay, I think that's it. You guys learned something? Yeah! Okay, I really appreciate your help and asking questions. It makes you a good audience.